Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
This episode is sponsored by Naturebox, where you can order great-tasting, healthy snacks right to your door. Snack smarter in the new year with healthy and delicious treats like French toast granola. Support this podcast to get 50% off your first order. Go to naturebox.com and use promo code TMOS. That's naturebox.com, promo code TMOS.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store. And around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. We're delighted to have you with us today, and I will say to all of our listeners, our numbers are up. You're downloading this show more often, and you're sharing it with people, and we're very grateful for that. Keep it up. We like that, and we want more. Coming in the fall, we are going to have a new listener initiative, so you better be aware of that. That's where everybody who likes us shares the fact that they like us, and we've had success with that. We'll be doing that again. We'll tell you all about it. Now, with that said, I like to offer a pretty consistent product on the Mike O'Mara Show. I like to make sure that each and every day we have something that people do enjoy listening to.
Is this what's known as a setup, Mike?
Does not chase them away. The other day, we had a wonderful discussion about how Horny Bob Spiewak, Rob's dad, shared with him a video from the Japanese Penis Festival. I'm not even sure whether that's what it's called, but it was a picture, videos of people running around this little town in Japan with all these little dildos.
And remember, Mike, it's not a festival of Japanese penises. It's a penis festival in Japan,
also,
just to be specific.
Foam penises as well.
Yeah, and candy
Foam
penises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting, and I will tell you that now the person that's done the research on this, and I'm not quite sure why he did the research on it, but it's our intern, Matt.
Mike, I hate to put this seed in your mind. He came in this morning, and he gave the impression that he didn't have to do research. It was as if he already knew.
I did.
He already knew.
Yes.
And now, hold on. Now, listen, I'm going to ask you one last time, and this is, I don't want to put any added pressure on you. Rob, I want you to crank his microphone.
Okay.
Because he is a whisperer, and I've never heard Mac talk at any level other than this. So I want to at least be able to hear him.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So, Mac, you knew about the Japanese Penis Festival?
I did. I saw it on a YouTube video about strange festivals.
So let me just see here. You were surfing the net about strange festivals?
No, it's a channel I subscribe to on YouTube. It just has lists, and one day it had a list of strange festivals, so it was one of them. So I knew about it.
It's not a penis list or anything.
No, it's not specific to the penis.
You weren't trying to plan a vacation.
You don't have a particular channel you subscribe to that has puppetry of the penis, the Ron Jeremy Hour, or anything like that.
No, it just happened to be there, and I looked it up again last night, and I have all the details about it right here.
Really? Oh, well,
yes.
I am ready, because this, for those backtracking a little bit right now, I want everybody to know that Horny Bob Spiewak shared this little video about this with Rob, and it was very interesting. It looked like a huge festival in the streets, and women were having their picture taken with these statues.
It's a celebration, Mike.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, what the video offered was splendid visuals, but what the video did not offer was an explanation as to why the festival was happening.
All right, I'm gonna give you my theory before he explains what it really is. But in many cultures,
yes.
In many cultures, remind me, note to self, reposition that sound effects machine.
Right.
In many cultures, fertility and something in like May Day, they dance around the maypole. I mean, it's a fertility dance, right?
Different cultures do different things to celebrate fertility.
And also, May Day is what you yell when the ship is going down. It may happen during this bit.
We used to be, you know what? Back in the day, Oscar?
Yeah.
Back in the day of FCC licenses and all that, when a operator had to go down to a major city to get their operator permit.
Yeah.
May Day was a really, really weird thing. You
Big
weren't
deal.
supposed to lay that out there. If anybody said it, you got in trouble. You weren't supposed to use it because the airwaves were designed to
that's why you couldn't talk into the walkie-talkies. You can't say Mayday, Mayday, Mayday.
Well, it's still today. Like if you go out on a boat or you go on a plane and you get on the the shortwave radio, the CB, whatever, you're going to get in trouble if you get in. I said shortwave radio and CB.
I know, that's right.
And then you go to the mercantile and get your vapors taken.
Well,
care
you know,
of.
Rubber Duck, it's a big deal because I got tickets because they're going to perform Tusk at the Fleetwood Mac concert tonight.
What about Morse code?
Oh, you know what else? You can't do remember there was a day you couldn't play a siren during a commercial. Because people would think, they would say, "Oh my God, they're going to think there's an emergency, or there's someone on the road behind you."
Red Dawn.
All that stuff is out the window.
We actually always, we basically adhered to that on the old Don and Mike show. Now, Mac, without further ado,
Yes.
Mayday.
explain to us what this. It looked colder there. It didn't look like it was something that would happen in the spring or late spring or early summer. It looked like something that was happening in winter.
That made the festival smaller, Mike.
Shrinkage, you know.
That's right.
Whoa. Jesus Christ.
So the Winter Festival of the Penis.
It is actually in the spring. It takes place on the first Sunday in April.
Okay.
It is called the Kanamara Matsuri, which literally translates to the Festival of the Steel Phallus.
Wow.
Give it. Slow down. What is it called again in Japanese?
Kanamara Matsuri.
Kanamara Matsuri and the Festival of the Steel Penis.
Steel Phallus, yes.
Steel Phallus.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Now we're talking.
Well, that is fascinating, Mac. What is it about?
Well, it originates from a story of a toothed demon who took place in...
Wait, start
Sorry.
again, please.
Okay.
Right. It originates from a story of a toothed demon?
No,
a toothed.
Toothed demon.
Tooth.
Not tooth.
I would hear that if you would speak up a little bit. I would hear that. But if you say, demon, I can't hear you. You're broadcasting. I want you to yell it. I want you to yell it.
Got it.
Say, I'm Mac, and this is the story of a toothed demon.
I want you to get mad.
I want you to get mad. I want you to yell it as loudly as you can. I'm going to a Japanese festival, and there's a toothed demon, and you're all going to die.
Max, repeat after me, all right? And really talk.
Yeah,
Like,
really.
really.
Got it.
Almost like you're yelling, all
Got
right?
it.
Tooth Day.
Toothed day.
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely. He is physically, it's impossible.
Yeah.
He will not be.
Today
so it's
is
a
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And Rob, who is that actor that I was just impersonating from
Peter
Network?
Finch. Peter
Peter
Finch,
Finch.
the late Peter Finch.
I want you to get mad. All right, go ahead. Tell us more about the festival.
It
man.
is about the sharp-toothed demon Vagina dentata. That's his name. And he hit
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That sounds fake. Vagina dentata.
No, remember, that is based on that movie that, remember BDK wanted you to watch a horror movie about a woman
Called Teeth.
Right. And this is the same thing.
You know, when you want to watch BDK, by the way, who is traveling the world interviewing Clooney,
Right.
Spielberg, Cameron
Denzel.
Diaz, Denzel. I think he's interviewed Angelina Jolie. He's interviewed everybody. Just remember, this is the same boy that got so excited to tell me to see this movie called Teeth about a vagina with teeth.
Right.
And he thought it was the greatest thing that he'd ever seen in his life. And I actually watched a little of it and was horrified and then never respected
The thing
BDK after
the thing that bothered me the most, and I remember when he was doing the enthusiastic recommendation, Mike, what he said was, "I think you'll like it."
Yeah, you're right.
And
You're
really, that speaks to his vision of you, I think.
Well, I love the guy, and I am so
Not
happy
me.
for his success. But I know you hate him. Well, you hate him because he's everything you wanted to be. You are the star effer of all time, and he has a collection
It's
of
chronicled.
people that
He could have been
he's-
nicer to us.
He's had his picture taken with everybody, which is something you probably would love.
He would love to have his. I would
doing.
love to have his picture taken with an Undertaker.
Back to the festival. Okay. Tell us. All right, you've got 30 seconds. Tell us everything
Because
you
he'd be
can
dead,
about it.
Mike. You
tooth
say.
demon-
Yes, I understand.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear.
Thanks for clearing that up, Rob.
The demon hid inside a woman's vagina,
Right.
and it castrated 2 young men on their wedding nights.
Wow.
So now, Mike, you've been married a few times.
Yes. I ran into that particular monster a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yes, it was- so this is a story of Japanese myth, or what is it?
Yes, it is a Japanese
So
myth.
it's a story. Why do they have the whole festival for it?
Yeah, and how did they defeat this toothed creature?
With the steel phallus?
Yes.
Aha!
The last time I heard of a vagina dentata was in a parody. It was one of those categories on Pornhub. Not safe for work, by the way.
Yeah.
It was one of those Lion King parodies that you sat there and you're like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah,
But,
based
you know,
on Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
Vagina dentata. That's what we're dealing with. Vagina dentata.
And this beast that came out of the jungle naked, it was awesome.
Yeah, I bet
Right.
that Nathan Lane actually would be safe from that.
Be a great name for a porn star. It's Vagina dentata.
I bet it would be great on fettuccine.
That's nasty.
Is it too far?
You just
So
made me go.
gross.
That's so gross.
Gross.
Sounds
That is
Italian,
so,
you see.
You brought food
Oh,
into it.
God.
And vagina
Well, that's his
and
porn.
teeth. Oh God.
That's right. That's my porn.
Mac. Okay, wrap it up.
Okay,
So,
so
what else don't we know about the?
The woman sought a blacksmith who fashioned an iron phallus to break.
The word he
The what?
wanted was
The woman-
blacksmith.
You mean blacksmith?
Yes. What did I say?
Okay.
Blacksmith.
You said
Well,
blah,
you're
blah, blah.
speaking. You're
Okay.
so afraid to be loud that usually, if you punch the words out, you're gonna get through that little.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey,
Try
you know
again.
what? Before he finishes, I want to do an experiment. And I supreme respect to all the people around us in the office. Can you yell for help?
No. Do not do that.
Just, I want to hear what it sounds like.
This is where, no, that does not
All right.
work.
Let's give him the.
He can yell his
Peter
name,
Finch
but
line.
not
The-
help.
Oh, okay, not help. Okay, I'm sorry.
The Peter Finch line from the movie Network, which I watched incidentally, it was on cable the other night.
MGM-ID,
And
HD?
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Okay? And I want you to scream it. Ready? I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. 1, 2, 3, go.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
You know what? That's a broadcast voice right there.
That is a great voice. If you
Okay,
can just
that-
talk like that.
That yell
Great
is
call.
Got it.
So she goes to a blacksmith, and the blacksmith crafts a steel phallus,
An iron phallus, yes. And he
an
breaks.
iron phallus.
Yes, and he breaks the demon's teeth, which led to the enrichment of the item which they keep in the shrine.
Look at you, man.
So at the
Okay,
shrine,
so
they've
the
got the iron phallus.
Yes.
now you're broadcasting.
Yeah.
and so that's what destroyed the demon.
Yes, it destroyed his teeth, which got rid of him.
It got rid of him totally.
That's
Also,
what it says.
also, Mike, in prehistoric Japan, no fluoride in the water. So it made it a little
You
easier.
win. Start the show.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business. From the entertainment capital of the world.
Hello, Doctor.
Hey,
How are you?
Very well.
Edward?
Good evening, sir.
I'm Johnny Carson, the world's second funniest man. I bow to the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams. Oh, they're laughing tonight. The string players are laughing. I've made a joke on this show. The string players never laugh because they're very serious, you know, but tonight they're laughing. The strings, by the way, are not for Suzanne Summers. They're for me during the monologue in case I need sympathy.
Start up, guys.
You and Doc are doing commercials.
Why not?
Last night, late, about 2:30 in the morning, I saw you come out in a kimono doing a thing for the amazing Ginsu knife.
Right. Listen.
What?
Why not? You own everything else.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I had the writers with me. I've seen you on one the past couple of weeks, looking right into the camera and saying, you at home may already have won $1 million. And if you buy that, I have some DeLorean stock I'd like to...
That's true.
You're actually going to give away $1 million big ones, huh?
On this program,
Will the person who wins the $1 million be here?
we hope so. It's up to you. If you don't care for him, he'll stay home.
Does he get the cash?
Yes.
That'll be a lot of fun.
See, $1 million doesn't mean as much to you as it does to the others.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
That was a nice obscure clip from Johnny. I like that, Rob.
I subscribe to Johnny Carson on Facebook, and they put up clips every once in a while. That was from a show like December 27th. They used to do shows between Christmas and New Year's, and Ed had to be toasted because he's never that brave.
Yeah,
and
right,
it was just,
right.
it was one thing that was neat about it is there was strings in the orchestra that night, and he kept referring to the string players. It was a great clip.
I like that. We are live from the Cappy Pfeiffer Studios and heard worldwide. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. We are powered by Encore Insurance Services with over 25 million downloads. Heard daily at MikeO'MaraShow.com and exclusively over the air on the mighty 1630 KCJJ in the heart of the heartland. Go Hawks. The Mike O'Mara Show is a daily podcast and radio show with the greatest listeners on the planet. Why?
Huh?
because they get it. This portion of our show is brought to you by our friends at Encore. Now, you know the need to have life insurance permeates every bit of your being. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when that lightning bolt's going to come by. You should prepare, and you should make sure your family is taken care of.
Right.
There's no time like the present. Put off that procrastination because the future is now. Don't worry, because Encore will help you through every step of this. Encore surveys the most highly rated companies in the insurance industry. Then they compare the premiums so you can get a great rate. They do all the work. You don't have to do it. You're not going to have an obligation if you call them. No salesman's going to call you. They're just doing the money work. Do us a favor. Give Encore a try. Not just for us, but for you. Call toll-free, 866-347-5748. They'll give you a free life insurance quote. And if you prefer computers, just visit smartterm.com. That's SMARTTERM.com. That's where you'll find the license disclaimer and quality customer service. Encore Insurance Services, LLC. Stop paying too much for life insurance. Protect your family the schmart way. Be smart. I'm smart.
Hey, Mike, I'm smart.
Yeah, Encore Insurance Services and smartterm.com. Remember that. Lots going on in the world to be a topicality.
Hey, buddy.
I know Mr. Santana is very, very excited because of the new Apple announcement.
Oh, you know what, Mike? He wised up. He took off his hoodie.
I just got warm in here.
Yeah, can you at least show the hoodie to
It's
the
not,
listener?
it's not hoodie
Can you
weather
show
yet.
us the hoodie, please?
Yeah, this is actually sent to me by a friend at Apple from Cupertino. It's an actual Apple sweatshirt.
Ah, look at that.
Yes. Authentic.
So do you get all ramped up and excited when
I do. I
it's a
looked at
big
my
Apple day?
wonderful girlfriend this morning, and I said, well, HBS is up to his antics again, so thank you for that.
Oh,
pinup
yeah,
of,
I thought that was sort of telling.
Of the day.
Yeah, you know, she hurt his feelings. When he didn't mind being called a perv, the old thing hurt.
The old creep?
Yeah, well, when she called
Is that
him
why he
old,
put up the yoga instructor?
I think it was his way of answering back to Shannon. Yeah. Now, when you put on that Apple sweatshirt,
Yes.
do you have a hard time getting to sync with the rest of your wardrobe?
No.
Does that mean like he'll do themes every day?
Well, he can be specific. Do you have requests?
Yes, German beer girl. German
I love
hottie.
a German beer
Pigtail
girl.
German hottie, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing
hey,
a-
Bob.
Mike, wearing
How
a
about you,
dirndl.
Bob? Bob, what?
Wearing a dirndl.
What's a dirndl?
The beer woman dress, the thing that they all
Okay.
wear. Yeah.
Well, or not.
Or maybe in coming out of a dirndl.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just near a dirndl.
She was a little embarrassed that I divulged all that information.
Well, she
And I
should
said,
know you by now.
You know, it's just a bit.
You know what? I'll take the
are you gonna do?
heat off of her, and when I talk to Mrs. O'Mara, I'll get a quote from her about how she feels about the HBS. She's very, very fond of Rob's dad. Very,
cool,
very much
Not
so.
as fond
And
as she
even-
is of my stepmom, though. She
no,
really
she's
loves
much-
Kathy.
She likes Kathy a lot. She
Yeah.
likes Kathy a lot. So I'll get a quote. So because I know that Shannon's not the only one that kind of gets creeped up by those photos. But you know what? That creepiness on the part of our significant others is not so significant that we say stop doing that.
no.
Exactly.
it's jealousy
Exactly.
is
And
what it
also,
is.
my father has the looming specter over his head of his original wife, my mother, saying, "Why does he do that? Why
What's
does
the
he
matter
do
with
that?"
By the
And
way, if
because
you've
my
never
mom
heard
doesn't
Sharon,
listen- because my-
she sounds exactly like Andy Rooney and everything. I don't understand. What's the deal with Horny Bob Speedway? He never had that name when he was married to me.
Well, once. But to be fair,
it
that
happened
was
one time, and Rob was conceived.
yeah. But to be fair, that was before the marriage. So
Well,
You usually have to dive into a bonus show to get that kind of
Yeah.
content.
We've
Rob,
revealed this
Rob
before.
reveals his soul. We've talked about it.
We have, yeah.
We've been on so long. We've talked about everything. There
Somewhere.
are no secrets.
Somewhere.
We've told it.
so I mentioned that, and I said, "Oh, look at the pinup of the day. It's an homage. You
Yeah,
know?
it
There
is,
you
a
go.
tribute.
2 thumbs up." And then I said, "And by the way, today's a big day. This is the day where I decide I'm going to buy an Apple iPhone 6, and you get to keep your old one."
hey,
Yeah.
are you
I'm
two on the same
conflicted.
plan?
No, we're not on the same plan. I usually give her my hand-me-down.
Sure.
But this time I'll be selling it on eBay because I've kept
All right.
it nice and
I
clean.
am conflicted. I am conflicted.
Yes.
While the Apple company has transformed the way I do business with my laptop, I will tell you this, that I have never purchased a product that I have been more satisfied with. I really do. I'm on my second AirBook, and I love it.
Yeah.
And, I think, what did I have the other one for? Almost 4 years?
Yeah,
if
and
not
you
4
must
years.
have dropped that thing at least a dozen times. And
I love the thing, I know, and I knew you used to talk about it, and now I have it in my, it doesn't go anywhere. I've got
He
it
just
with me.
slides right by anymore. Oscar, he doesn't even fight you on it. Yep.
I know that he says that I dropped it, but I got a hard case for it, and I keep it in my little hard case now.
That's nice.
There's the apple.
Looking good.
Hey, and you know what? I see a reflection of Oscar and myself in the case.
That's pretty crazy.
That is nutty. Look at that.
Look at that nice hard case.
I would dare say, Mike, that your your AirBook has made it possible for you to do this job.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really has.
100%.
It's revolutionized it.
Before this, and also speed, not crashing. Once you figure out the little tiny differences in the system, it works very, very well. Now, that's the laptop. The phone, I believe, can be a land of suck. The phone can be very, very difficult. Now, calm down. I know this
I
is
tried to switch to Android. Didn't work out.
Your name is not Oscar Santana Zaballos Jobs. Okay, it is not. You can. I want you to keep it
Mike,
open
his
mind.
name is 9 Jobs. Because that's what he has.
There are things about that phone that I don't like. I don't like
the big
fact
buttons.
No, not the big buttons. The fact that, for example,
What? There are no big buttons.
I know.
there are no big buttons. But the fact that, you
The
guys know that
sleekness, the sexiest.
I butt dial a lot. Do I not?
But that's because you do that.
Yeah, but you said, well, all you have to do is
I've
press
butt
the button and
dialed
shut
in
it
my
off.
life twice.
Okay.
In my life.
To who?
Usually last person, either Mike or Shannon.
Okay.
I think they're the last two people.
Mike,
How many times have you butt dialed, Rob?
I almost never. But
Yeah,
I don't
right?
keep the
You
You know,
phone.
because
I don't keep the phone in my
Rob
pocket.
leaves the studio and puts the phone in the effing trunk of his car for
Because
the
I
rest
don't
of the day.
I don't have a spotless phone record like you, Mike. So
You know what? I
someday
realize
I'll try to do better.
You know what? I've got a better. Do you think I've got a better track record than you as far as answering phone calls?
All right. Well then, hooray.
Good comeback.
Where-
You gotta get the writers in. On
Where do you keep your phone when you put it? Do you put it in your back pocket, front pocket?
I keep down here because I live
Are
in
you
Florida.
pointing to something?
Down here.
Down here is where I keep my
Down
phone.
here is where I keep it. I wear what is commonly known by my wife as my Florida uniform. And my Florida uniform, usually the shorts that I wear are these kind of Crocodile Dundee. They're not cargo shorts per se. They're more like what you would find in an outdoorsman fishing place because they are of a material that would be best described as tropical.
I see. Is the
wiki
material?
material,
Is
wiki.
it a space age polymer?
It is a nylon-ish type of thing. It
Very
is,
thin and
if you were to feel this fabric, you would say, "Well, that feels more like a bathing suit than a pair of shorts." But they are indeed regular.
Do you have
shorts.
a pass lock on your phone?
Yes, I do. Yes,
You do?
indeed,
Okay,
I do. I
perfect.
use it constantly.
Well,
I
how do you
that
have
all
your
the time.
phone set? How soon
like-
before the phone locks?
Like, for example, right now I know that your phone isn't on silent. And it hasn't been for the last 2 days because I hear when you get emails. So I know that for sure.
He's right. He's right. Yeah, because I had to turn that silent off. Let me do it again. Let me do it. Let me do it.
Oh, look at that, Mike! You can't see the phone if you put your finger in front of it.
Okay, here we go.
What are you doing?
So
Do you know what the battle is? Seriously,
Yes.
The battle is this. This is every day. I like to equate Carla and Oscar because they're the same generation and they have the same concerns a lot of times. I constantly have this battle. Oscar will give me amazing amounts of crap about having my phone turned on during the show. Rightly so. It shouldn't be ringing. It's not professional to hear boom in the middle of the show.
He does hate it. Oscar does hate it.
Then I will leave the studio, and Carla and I will be out somewhere wandering around, and I will miss a phone call because I had my phone turned off. And she said, "Oh, it's turned off again." And she looks at me with this conspiratorial face as though I've done something horrible. And I'm like, "Honey, I turned it off because of the show. And I don't remember because of this little Apple. Look at the little Apple leprechaun button. The tiny little button. The thing is, this is supposed to be a smartphone, and it's really not.
There's
There's
an app.
better technology out there.
You know, Mike, there is an app that will silence your phone for for any number of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I thought of it, and Todd said they couldn't do it, and then they did it. But what it is, it's in your settings.
Write him a letter.
I will, and he'll read it.
Into
your settings, and you can put it in. It's I forget exactly what it's called. Great for like when you go to movies or something.
Yeah.
It'll silence your phone for say 2 hours, and then your phone comes back up.
Well, do you have to program that in, or what? How does that work?
It's
That's
easy.
like a timer. Yeah. Also, Mike, think about this. If you're
it's another update. It's another software update. Thanks again. Yeah, another day, another software update.
If you can find a better phone, then buy it. That's what I would say.
It's funny you bring that up because there are a lot of phones
you should get the new Amazon Fire.
Are competing, right? There are a lot
you should
of
get on it.
phones
You can get it
that
for 99 cents now, and you get Amazon Prime for free.
All right, there's my auto lock. My auto lock right now. My auto lock right now. It says it's 1 minute. 1 minute for my auto lock.
That's about right. That's good.
Well, that's the minimal setting that you have. It goes all the way 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
But you're
4 minutes,
auto
5
locking
minutes,
your
never.
screen. You're not auto locking your phone to silent.
Well, I don't know how to do that.
Maybe it's user error.
Of course, that's what you think. Wait a minute, Rob.
That's what I think.
Of course, that's what you think.
I'm sure I just think that.
Of course, that's
the rest
what
of
you
America
think.
and our
Always
listening
that.
audience is thinking that right now.
Oh, blow me! All right, hold on just a second. Let me. Or how would I do this? How would I do?
You go to
silent?
settings and then go to Do Not Disturb, and then you could actually schedule it every day.
Yeah.
From like 10 a.m.
You know
to
who
noon.
does that? Shannon does that before she goes to bed. She has it. It just turns off.
Mm-hmm. And you can actually schedule it to be Do Not Disturb. And then
How do I schedule it?
Well, you see, have you gotten to Do Not Disturb yet?
Yeah, and it says
and then,
scheduled on and off.
Hit that switch.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Right.
And then you can go over and select your times. And those are what are known in Apple parlance as your quiet hours.
Quiet hours.
It's going to have a quiet hour. Meanwhile, I wish you could see Matt Bloom right now. He is literally rubbing his temples because he thinks we're all so stupid.
Yeah.
He hates all of us right now.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? I could do an hour on him. Okay?
I
could do
don't
an
attack
hour
him.
on
He's not attacking you.
No, he's frustrated with all of us.
So
All
the
right,
new
so I'm
phones,
setting it to the quiet hours from 9:30.
Right?
Okay, you probably don't want that.
No, I would say 10:30.
10:30.
To noon.
Because we might have to call you before the show, so then you wouldn't get our call.
Exactly.
You wouldn't look at your phone.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That
You know,
would be good.
So noon. I'm
10:30 to noon.
10:30 to noon.
Carrie tried an Android phone, and between the two of us, we couldn't figure it out.
It's a whole thing.
It is a thing. It's
Yeah,
not
and
the way my
I
brain
can't
works.
From 10:30 to noon, it's silent.
Yeah.
Can somebody try to call me?
Oh,
See if
absolutely.
that-
I'll call you right now, or I'll try to call you.
Maybe Oscar will butt dial you. You never can.
I
tell.
like this. No, I really.
Oh
Thanks,
my-
boys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks a lot. I
4
really
years
like
into this. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
What an incredible phone.
Have you ever looked, Mike? Have you ever looked at an Android phone product and tried to manipulate it?
No, is it difficult?
I can't. I just can't do it.
I'm calling you right now, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it rings on your end.
Hello, I need.
Hey, it works like a charm. Works like a charm.
Are you sure you turned it on? You turned on the Do Not Disturb?
Let me go back into the settings. Scheduled is on from 10:30 p.m. Oh, 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's 10:30 a.m.
User error.
Most of the time, we do the show in the morning.
Okay. I'm an idiot.
10:30 p.m. You a-hole.
Thank you. Yeah, here's Lou Rawls. All right. All right, there. Now I've done it. Now it's okay.
Yeah,
all right, we'll take a break. And sorry for that.
Hey, Mike, let's step away.
Yeah, that's half an hour of your life, people. You're not going to get back. We'll take a break. Come back with more on the Mike O'Mara Show.
I'm Oscar Santana.
And I'm Todd Moore, and we're trying to bridge the gap between entertainment and
Technology.
and we're doing it right now.
Yes, and we're much better than Rob Spiewak.
F you, Rob.
Listen to Tech 4-in-1. It's available on MikeOMaraShow.com or find us on iTunes. Just search
For Tech 411 Show.
More Broadcasting. For more information, visit us at morebroadcasting.com.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This segment of the program brought to you by Naturebox. Two words for you people. Free snacks. Calm down. Yes, I'm going to give you the chance to get free snacks Drop that candy bar. Drop the potato chips. They're not good for you. Listen, there's a movie coming out about sugar, and how it is really an epidemic in this country. And Naturebox is natural. It's good for you, and they give you hundreds of delicious snacks, and you don't feel guilty for eating them because they are better for you. 0 artificial ingredients, 0 trans fats, 0 high fructose corn syrup. That is the stuff they put in Nature's Box. You'll even find snacks that are low in sugar and gluten-free. So when you hit that afternoon slump, when you're hungry and cranky, here's what I want you to do. Grab peanut butter nom-noms from Naturebox, or baked sweet potato fries, or dark cocoa almonds. Perfection, people. So good, but they're also good for you. And now I want to give you the chance to try Naturebox absolutely free with a sampler box featuring 5 of their most popular snacks. You heard me, free snacks. To start your free trial, go to naturebox.com/TMOS. Stay full, stay strong, do what we do, and start snacking smarter. Go to naturebox.com/TMOS to get a free sampler of delicious snacks, and you're welcome. And I understand if you eat a lot of Naturebox after a long period of time, it'll help you write better copy.
Yes.
I know that for an absolute fact.
And you can do it in the AM or the PM. You can snack anytime you want.
Yeah, that's stellar right there. Anyway, welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. I am not allowed, Oscar's been lecturing me that I'm not allowed to say some of the things that are going on behind the scenes here, but
I love when you lead with what we said in the pre-show we're not going to talk about.
Always fun.
I just think it's important. It's important for people on the West Coast to know that we have not forgotten about something we were talking about doing. And we're not allowed to say much, but I would just say that if you
tread
were
lightly.
Very careful.
If you had a calendar.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
And you were thinking about marking a day on a calendar.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be killing yourself by putting down November 15th.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
What
that is all I'm going to say.
Is that a Saturday?
What
Is it a
part
Saturday?
of we can't talk about this yet?
I
mean,
wanna,
it's I don't want to play this game where I can't tell Mike anything because he's just going to talk about it.
I am not doing anything other than
look. I'm just as excited as you are.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to help a brother out. No, November 15th, a very good day in American history, correct? Significant day. Yes.
It's called the Ides of November.
The Ides of November, November 15th. If you were just a planner and you wanted just to get a little idea, November 15th, there are going to probably be people in our listening audience that are going to hear that. And now, I want to just be real clear. I can't say anything more because there is a small possibility I could come back and say, forget everything I said. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen. I'm counting on that not happening. You're damn right, it better not. And so there might be people out there that are going, oh, no, I thought it was going to be this day, November 15th.
Yeah.
And then
I'm just mentioning a date. I'm just saying a date.
Nothing specific. It's just one day.
Nothing specific at all.
Just one day.
365 of them in a year, and the one you've selected to highlight. You know what this is, Mike? Let's do this since we're not doing the KCJJ thing anymore. Can that be the Mike O'Mara Show day of the day?
I just had a thought, though.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I thought we
were
almost
you guys
out.
didn't know.
I thought we were going to pivot to the Apple announcement.
We're going to, no, here, since it is close to that day, Rob.
Yes.
And you're more than welcome to say no.
Okay.
But I think since that date is later than other dates that we have done before,
sure.
My feeling is perhaps as an homage, I like that word Oscar used, to our founding, pilgrims.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we could have a sort of Thanksgiving theme to something we might do.
Do you mean
now I'm talking out loud.
Now you're talking.
Yeah,
I'll stop.
This is something we can talk about later.
To talk about.
Right.
All right, I'll stop. I'll
Right.
stop. Save the date.
I'm not being the Indian.
You're what?
I'm not being the Indian. I know where you're going.
Not even a sexy Indian?
No.
Oh God! You said it. I didn't.
Hey, you know what? It could be like a hip Indian.
Please.
It wouldn't have
I'm
to be
not
like-
even Native American.
Please.
Well, none of us are. I don't think that you're Native South American.
Yeah.
And you know what? You
Could
wouldn't
I
have
wear?
to be
Could
like
I wear
Tonto.
a buckskin? Could I wear a buckskin jacket
Did you want to be like Davy
And a
Crockett?
coon-
You're
and a
not going to be
coonskin?
Lewis or Clark.
and a coonskin cap? Could I
You're
do
gonna
that?
I think
be
that's
the
a little.
pilgrim.
I think that's later. Later, if you
You
want to
would
do
be
it,
the pilgrim.
No,
you'd have to do a pilgrim thing.
Husker, I don't need to be the pilgrim because we have the pilgrim, and he's wearing a Ghostbusters shirt. He has to be the pilgrim. He has to be.
All
the
I need to
pilgrim.
do is find a.
like a cartoon pilgrim.
We need to find the pilgrim outfit from one of America's favorite costumers for the larger man. Because the thing that my initial thought on that is not just pilgrim, like ill-fitting costume.
We could steal the belt buckle from a grill of a car.
Yeah. True enough.
That's fun.
Need a big
Okay.
hat, big
Just
pilgrim
a
style
thought,
hat.
you know, the
and that
mind's
would be on
starting to
what day?
race.
November what?
November 15th. I will say nothing more of it. I promise you until tomorrow. I won't say anything more. But that's, if you were throwing a dartboard, calendar dartboard.
And
November
your
15th.
your son Rob could narrate a part of it because he sounds
Like Linus.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah, we could have a recreation.
Now we're spitballing.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's fun, isn't it? See,
Yes.
it's getting
And then we
real,
could have a
isn't it?
feast that lasted 3 days. And
Yeah.
we could invite people that we didn't know, and that would be symbolic of people breaking bread together.
Yeah.
It'd be great. And
In fact, because it is that date, a little bit later than we originally anticipated, I'm thinking that we're well within our rights to tie it into the holiday season.
Exactly. And we can call Pony Squanto.
I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Now, just Thanksgiving or also Christmas?
No,
I don't know.
Thanksgiving.
Squant. Oh. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's it.
Squantomera. That would be. It almost works. It almost works.
It's stupid and fun. Where we're okay.
Don't get your hotel rooms yet because there's a special on the way.
Okay.
If
All right,
people
very
want,
good.
if people
What
want
are
to go
you
out of their
talking
way.
about hotel rooms?
Well, I know
We're
people
not.
that like to plan. I'm just saying.
Right.
We haven't even mentioned the
You
city
would get a
yet.
special.
That's right.
We haven't mentioned the city, so we can't get in trouble with them. Just tell them to get their asses in gear. All right. Anyway, moving right along, the iPhone 6. So, Oscar, are you gonna buy it, or are you not gonna buy it?
I'm going to buy it. We are 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 35 seconds away from the big Apple keynote.
Are there people that are lining up?
Oh,
for
are they
this thing
lined up?
yet?
Been lined up for days.
Now, where is the keynote? What city?
Cupertino, my friend.
Is Johnny Fluoride there?
Johnny Fluoride.
Yeah, Todd Moore.
Oh no, Todd is at TM Soft headquarters.
So when they're making this announcement, it's immediately going to be available at the retail stores?
No, I imagine it's going to be available next week sometime.
Okay,
next
that's
Tuesday.
when they'll line up. That's when
Yes,
they'll start
yes,
lining
line
up.
Well, there
up.
are people lined up at the
Yes.
Apple Store in New York already.
Saw that on the Today Show this morning.
But if they're going to make an announcement and then they're not going to make it available, they could be.
They camp
They're
out.
just going to be. They're going to
that's
be
usually
camped
what
out
happens,
there?
Mike. Yes,
They're rolling the dice.
Anything you can tell us about the new one? What's going to be? They're going to have a bigger screen.
It's going to have better
don't
life.
know enough. I know that there's a sapphire, screen. Sapphire is currently.
Mike, it's solid sapphire made of the precious stone.
They're talking about an upgrade that's probably going to be stronger than what you currently have with the Gorilla Glass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big rumor that's going around. A bigger screen. The iWatch is something I'll be curious to see what they come out with.
That a lot of
supposedly
people are
being-
saying, that Apple's going to do some sort of smartwatch
Yes.
that they won't call a watch.
that they won't call a watch. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can I tell both of you something though? And I mean
Chess?
this. It is so. I'm grateful.
The
This
Do Not
is a very
Disturb?
good- The Do Not Disturb feature, which I've looked at for a million years. I love this. I love it when I get to figure out technology and I get. You want to try to call me again?
You didn't
Oscar?
figure it out. To be fair,
I didn't figure. Well, you guys told me. I love it when I'm educated. When
You
I'm
love
enlightened.
technology.
I love technology. Why?
Hold on a second.
Now, Oscar, do you
Please
think they will
find
change?
Rob a pilgrim suit?
Will they find a new plug, or do you think they're going to stick to that
the
plug
lightning
they
I think
switched over?
should be good enough.
God, I hope so.
Hopefully.
Yeah. His phone rang again.
Your phone rang again.
This is not a bit. This is not a bit. I swear to God.
It is
cannot
turned on,
stand
right? Obviously, the phone is turned on, but I mean the Do Not
Do Not
Disturb feature.
Disturb.
The switch should look green.
Yes. Green means go.
That's right. Let's go green,
Yes.
as Al Gore would say. Right?
Hold on, Let me go back to the.
He can't do
settings.
everything. He invented the internet.
No, he was roommates with a lot of famous people.
Oh yeah, those abductors, nice and loose.
Do Not Disturb is scheduled from 10:30 a.m. to 12 a.m. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really did do that. I really did do that.
Really, Mike?
How?
Okay, we are definitely set now. Call me one more time.
How do
Just
we
call me
do
one
this
more
every
time.
day?
You know what this is? This is Mike is so used to military time that it's thrown him.
There will be a magic show at 0900.
All right.
Just try it again. I'm
Third
sorry.
time's the charm.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
And I can't wait for you to hear the vibration. I'll
Okay,
lay it right
so-
on the microphone.
You know what? It won't vibrate. It won't do anything.
Yeah.
It won't?
That's
No.
ringing on my end. Now it's ringing on your end.
This is ridiculous. Hold on. Let me go back and look at it. I put the PM in.
Hold
there.
on. I'm gonna put mine on Do Not Disturb, and I want you to call
Please,
me. Okay.
please.
Yeah, I want to say how smart I am and how dumb Mike is.
What we're doing
No.
is we're trying to
We are
eliminate.
Testing.
Yeah, exactly.
Testing.
All right, I'm checking Do Not Disturb.
All right, let me call you. Rob.
10:30
Hold on,
a.m.
give me
to
a second to
12
set it.
p.m.
Yes.
Right.
What other settings under Do Not Disturb are there?
All right, but when I look at Do Not Disturb, it's got the moon, the half moon. That's
Oh, you know what?
Right?
Do Not Disturb only works for the first call. If you call multiple, if you stalker call, it'll break through. So there might be a setting on there if you keep on calling.
Oh, really?
Yes.
One call per person.
I
Oh,
think
wait, it
so.
says allows calls from favorites.
Take
so
that
allow
off.
calls from no one.
No one.
No one.
No one.
Nobody.
Okay.
Not
There we
yet.
go.
All right, Oscar.
All right.
I'm set if you want to try
I'll
to call.
call.
No, I
Rob.
want him to try me.
Well,
Don't call Rob first. I want mine to vibrate
It's too
before
late.
his
I've
does.
pushed the button. I'm sorry.
All right.
We'll have to wait.
This is very frustrating.
So now I'm calling
You're-
Rob
I hear yours.
Spiewak.
I hear you. Wait, that's the ring.
Oh, I got voicemail.
Hey, and it would be nice if you
Interesting.
left me a message. Would it kill you?
Yeah. Rob, good work.
All right, try mine once, please, and then we're done with this. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no, it's
I
fine.
hope this is not boring.
Hey, we're
people,
doing
but
the
I really-
Lord's work.
Yeah. I've
Now
got my
I'm
do not.
calling Mike O'Mara. Oh my God!
All right, I have
This
do
has
not
gotta
disturb.
be a bit.
I have do not disturb. It is
Jesus.
scheduled. There's what. God damn it! I have it 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Allow calls from no one.
No one, except Oscar.
Oh wait, repeated calls is turned on.
Okay, turn that off.
You got to turn that off.
All right. Can I? Is my point made about Apple? It's like,
you know
hey,
what?
you can silence your phone for a certain period of time, but favorite calls, repeat calls. If I'm silencing it for 2 hours, I am silencing it. So don't dick me around and have me do this, okay?
It's going to be great
Silence.
when it works.
Okay, I'm going down the line here. Another thing: silence always, only when the iPhone is locked.
This is officially the first senior moment of the show.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
always. Now it's perfect. Now I think I've done everything. There's another feature that only when the iPhone is locked should it be silent.
But you know what? If you lock in a minute, that's fine. That's
You'll be
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
2 hours. 2 hours of the day. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready for
now
you to
lock your phone.
call. Okay. Lock my phone.
Okay,
By
good.
hitting the button on the
Yeah,
top.
the top
I
button.
believe you called it a
lock it. Thank you.
leprechaun button. I think you called it.
Lock it.
Now I am calling Mike O'Mara. Take 6.
Okay, here we go.
Now quiet. Silent.
Ah, big win!
Right.
Look at that. Why do I feel like we lost?
How do you like him now?
Hey, wow. Isn't that terrific? How hot is that? Isn't that fantastic?
All right, Mike. How great is that?
Do we go through a break? while
We
we're
need to
doing
do a
that?
break.
Okay, we need to take a break. When we come back, we have to talk what everybody's talking about, this debacle known as the Ray Rice situation, happening right up the street in Baltimore. So we'll talk about that when we come back on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Been down, isn't it a pity? Doesn't seem to be a shadow in the city. All around, people looking half.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Well, the first week of the NFL season is in the books, people. How did your fantasy team do? I don't have Rofo here, and he didn't text me, and he didn't follow up.
Oh, I think you had
because
2
he's
catches.
large, lazy, and fat, and so he didn't do that.
Victor
And,
Cruz had 2 catches and 27 yards.
and I don't think that's going to cut
Oh,
it.
I don't think it is either.
No, you needed. He said he
at least
predicted
1 touchdown.
He predicted a touchdown and 40 yards.
Yeah,
That's what you needed.
That would have helped.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That would have helped out. You know what it is? It says do not disturb button.
It is.
I killed it. Killed your internet connection.
Are you?
That's what he did.
Yeah, it's like we put the zip
it
one
really?
on Do Not Disturb.
Yes.
All Oh, but you're back now.
You're
All
back.
is well.
You're back, Mike.
All right, I'm turning my phone off.
Totally
All right,
off?
I'm turning my phone off. I'm going to turn my phone off.
It has nothing to do
I don't
with
think
it.
it did anything, Mike.
All right.
I think it's just the demons.
Well, I mean, all I know, we just dropped out. We had a little dropout there, didn't
First
we?
dropout in a long time.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hear you just fine.
And you know what?
Okay,
It was a
very
weird
good.
symptom. We never lost the
I'm
picture.
talking about FanDuel.
Yes.
I did. I lost the picture down here. Be like Chris Prince of Detroit. He has won over $656,000 playing fantasy sports at FanDuel.com. Join him and thousands of other users who have already won money. FanDuel.com is the leader in one-week fantasy football leagues for real money with immediate cash payouts. Just set a new lineup each week and win every week if you're good enough. No season-long commitment, no upfront fees, and contest entry fees start at just $1, and the money is real. FanDuel is paying out more than $10 million every single week this NFL season, but you can't win if you don't play, so get started today. New user special. Use the code TMOS, and FanDuel will even match your first deposit up to $200. Remember, FanDuel.com, click the microphone in the upper right-hand corner. Use the code TMOS. The first 50 to use the TMOS code get their deposit matched up to $200. That's free money at FanDuel. Thank you very much. All
Chin
right,
up,
back to the
Buckaroo.
show.
You're going to have a great
Technologically,
week next week. You're going to have a great week next week on FanDuel.
we're all set to go. Well, I don't even know because Rofo's my reporter on this, and I have no idea how we did, so he didn't give me an update. I think we may have been in the money, but I don't know because he didn't text me and let me know, and he's my general manager. Speaking of football, we have to deal with this because that's what the country is talking about today, and just a very strange story with Ray Rice. And I've got so many questions, and I think there are a lot of unanswered questions. The number one unanswered question is if TMZ, the smut-slinging, trash tabloid website run by Harvey Levin and the television show, if they were able to obtain the full uncensored video of Ray Rice knocking out his fiancée, how come the great and all-powerful NFL and the great American judiciary was not able to acquire the same tape? And, of course, everything changed
There are a couple
yesterday
answers
when – okay.
to this. One, as far as the judiciary, they did. The tapes were given to the courts, and to the point that Ray Rice's lawyer had that tape. The problem here is, and if you've been living under a rock, and maybe you're not.
So that's
totally
why he
understand
copped
this.
to it in the first place, right, Oscar?
Well, he had
because they had
because
tape of
they
him
had,
doing
they
it.
had the tape. The problem here is twofold. One, the NFL's response to this initial situation where Ray Rice knocks out his now wife, then fiance, at the Revel Hotel in Atlantic City. The initial video that was released to the public, and that most accounts say that the NFL saw initially, was of him getting in a fight with his girlfriend at the club, and then him dragging his fiance, now wife, out of the elevator, and that's all you saw. You never saw what happened within the elevator. Now,
are you saying the NFL never saw that either?
I'm going to tell you why they haven't seen it yet, and why it's okay or not okay, depending on your public opinions out there, and I'm sure there's going to be an investigation. So, the court saw everything. So as far as Atlantic City's concerned, the lawyers, they saw the inside, outside, everything. Now, the problem here is this, is that NFL shield is, everyone talks about that will be protected till the cows come home, and that nothing will ever tarnish that shield. And you talk about that, the mighty NFL, and why and how they should have gone out of their way to find out what exactly happened within that elevator.
Right.
Now, initially, when this all happened, the response from the NFL, because this happened this past summer, was slow. And as public opinion came around, it turned into a situation for the NFL overall and Roger Goodell, the commissioner, because of the way they responded to this domestic dispute, right?
Right.
To the point where he ends up suspending Ray Rice for 2 games of this NFL season. And then they implement a policy for all NFL players that say if you're caught within this domestic dispute, there's a mandatory 6-game suspension.
And the argument is that they modified their policy because of the uproar that was created when he lowballed the initial suspension and gave Ray Rice 2 games at the beginning of the season.
At the crux of this is, now this video has been released of what happened inside the elevator.
Right.
People are asking, why didn't the NFL see that video? because it's just damning. Like, there's no two ways around it.
It takes a bad situation and makes it infinitely worse.
The initial allegations that she attacked him and he was protecting himself and an accident happened. They both you cop to that story. The fiance wife now that was sitting up there on the podium.
If you haven't seen the video, if you've been living under a rock, I will tell you, he knocks her out cold.
Yeah,
he knocks her out. If you've ever been around an NFL player, you know the strength of these guys, and he gives her a full left hand, left hook to the jaw, and she goes down like a sack of potatoes. It is disturbing to watch at the very least.
So the problem is this now. He is released. His contract's terminated with the Ravens. They don't owe him any money. And then the league suspends him indefinitely. So he can't play for any other team in the NFL. Now, the people within the organization and outside of it are questioning the way the NFL responded, because if you've got all these millions and billions of dollars on the line and you're there to protect that shield, is what they've always said,
right?
Then why wouldn't you ask for the video? Because everybody is coming out, whether it's the Ravens management or the ownership or the NFL themselves, say this is the first time we've ever seen this video. That's why now we had to act, right?
Yeah.
Now, the Rebel Hotel this morning comes out, and this is through TMZ, and it's sad that they have to uncover all of this, but they have, says that they've never been asked by the NFL for that video. They said they would have gladly handed it over. It wasn't stuck in the
basically
court.
was the NFL looking the other way.
Yeah, I think
the NFL basically saying they don't want to be bothered. Let's just get this out of the way and let's move it on. This is there are some extremes here. You have Keith Olbermann, who is calling for everybody's head on this particular situation, and the problem with that, when I see that and when I see Keith Olbermann, going on, and if you haven't seen it, check it out online. It's a very interesting little spiel where Keith Olbermann really takes everybody to task, and to a certain extent, rightly so. And you've got him on one extreme, and then you've got the Fox and Friends idiots who are poo-pooing it and make a flip comment like take the stairs, like they don't give a rat's ass. And in the middle are all of us, the people that look at this video and abhor it because you just don't hit a woman. You don't do that. And you don't settle your grievances by literally knocking someone unconscious. It shouldn't be done.
Well, and it's also his reaction afterwards. It's not like, oh, my God, what have I done? There was no, oh, my God, what have I done? He's like, oh, now I got to drag this chick out of this elevator.
Right.
Here's the thing about if what Keith Olbermann is calling for, which is, the counsel for the NFL, the commissioner himself, getting rid of him, if that results in a culture change in the NFL, I'm all for it. I'm all about the results. I don't care about blame. I really don't. I care about the change in culture. And if this is an opportunity, this is Mike O'Mara talking right now, my opinion. And I have watched the NFL since I was 5 years old, watching the New York Giants in Yankee Stadium on a black and white TV at my father's knee. And I have watched this league go from being a league of grown men who conduct themselves on a playing field like they are adults. I remember names like Mike Curtis of the Baltimore Colts, that Mike Curtis was known as a dirty player, okay? It gradually has increased in violence, in dirty play, in self-aggrandizement, and it has gotten worse and worse and worse. And I want to make it real clear, this in no way is an African-American cultural thing. When I talk about the culture of the NFL, and there are lots of African Americans who play in the NFL, I'm talking about the league. I am not talking about a black-white issue. This applies to everybody. It is time for a wholesale reevaluation of the culture of this toddler league with these grown-up children that are acting like, and you're going to have to edit me, complete and total assholes. And you're going to go, well, it's a violent league. I don't care. It's a game, and children watch it. It's time to stop all of the bull that goes along. It's time to stop celebrations after every play.
Well,
that's absurd. It's stupidity.
But those are two different, Mike. Those are
no, they're not.
You're painting with a broad brush.
No, I'm
your
painting
boy
with a broad
Victor
brush.
Cruz dances every time he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, and it's not necessary.
Do you know why he does it? Do you know how he came up with that concept?
I don't give a rat's ass. I could care less about all of their reasons for celebration. The fact is, you can celebrate like an adult. You're grown men. There's this culture of macho. There is this whole thing about trash talk that has exploded that didn't exist back in the day. There is this whole deal of celebration. You look at Hard Knocks, where the fighting that happens, the lack of discipline within the organizations, where you've got the assistant coaches going, yeah, these guys are going to do that. You don't. What I'm talking about, Oscar, is the fact that it is still an entertainment venue. It is still a manufactured thing. This is not going to it would go away tomorrow, and people would still have to feed their families, and people would still commit crimes, and life would go on. I think you need to take a wholesale approach to the behavior of players within the NFL.
Yeah, but hitting somebody and dancing after scoring is two different animals. It's not fair to put those two in the same.
I'm talking about the entire lack of respect for your fellow human beings. And it is lack of respect to tackle a guy and point at him. He's out there doing his job. You're doing his job. I'm talking the Ray Rice is the extreme on this end of domestic violence off the playing field. Then I go, I'm taking the whole thing. I told you I was going to paint with a broad stroke. I said that. This is the whole culture of sports in America. And it's destroying my enjoyment of the game and a lot of other people's enjoyment of the game. And when you get this spirit of trash talk and lawlessness and this whole attitude of we can, it makes me appear to be more noticeable and more marketable if I dance and I trash talk and I'm that guy. You're wrecking it. It's gonna implode. It's gonna implode like it is right now. This might cause it.
I think, Mike, you're gonna see some changes because if nothing else, the NFL knows how to run their business.
Oh yeah.
And if there's gonna be a backlash, they will try to be one step ahead of it. And I think it was Brian Gumbel this morning. He said, at the very, very best, the NFL is guilty of not investigating this.
Yeah,
and you know what? If that's their best case scenario, they're in bad.
And I know, Oscar, I know that I'm painting with a broad brush.
It's just it's irresponsible to talk about it, in my opinion. It's irresponsible to talk about it that way.
Of what? Talk about the culture of the NFL?
No, it's to say that the culture of the NFL is a sign off on Ray Rice. This is why this happens, because the culture completely changed.
I'm not saying. But I'm saying right now you're seeing bad behavior on the part of the management of the NFL and the way the league's run.
Clearly.
I'm talking about, I think that if if you've got a league where these guys work so incredibly hard to get into the league, and then they reach the pinnacle of their professional careers, and they're able to act like complete and total
But there are 2,000 guys in the league. You hear about 5% of them at the most if you're lucky.
You talk about 5% that are criminals.
Yes,
because that's the statistic you're giving.
To compare to 2,000,
I'm not talking
overall.
about. I don't think that I think that you. I'm talking about the perception of a league gone rogue. A league that has grown to such an extent and is so financially successful that they have different rules and they think they have different rules. And all I'm saying is this is a league that can tell a guy what color socks that he has to wear. Why not? Would it be completely outrageous? And I know a lot of people agree with me. And I'm using the Ray Rice extreme to just address a big problem that I've always had with the NFL. It's the reason I don't get into it as much as I used to, because it just doesn't do it for me anymore because of all this crap, this wrestling BS they have. I'd like to see, would it be completely outrageous if you said, you celebrate a score. You celebrate a score and you celebrate a score. If you want to get a little creative with it, celebrate a score. But you don't celebrate after every play. And how about you trash talk? Taunting. It was a penalty. It was a penalty. And now they have an extreme cases of it. They throw a flag. But how about you just aren't allowed to do it at all? And you get a penalty. They implement rules all the time in the NFL. What I'm saying is I would like to see this as an opportunity not just to avoid a Ray Rice situation where they didn't investigate it properly, but how about an opportunity to hold the NFL up to this standard, where it is the most honorable and sportsmanlike league that is out there. It's the most successful we have in America.
Sure.
Why don't we make it the most sportsmanlike? Why don't we force these overgrown children to behave like real men and not like goddamn kindergartners, which they've been doing more and more and more. And you know what? That small percentage of the jerks that, oh, my guy scored a touchdown and he danced, how's that make the 50% of the people that are in the stadium feel? Makes them feel like crap. My feeling is you can root for your team, celebrate your wins.
The only way that's going to stop is if the people that are doing that stop being rewarded. And I go back to my Victor Cruz, who's an all
call a few penalties on him, and
they're not
he's
an all-around good guy. He does a lot for his community, but the reason why he danced, and I always thought that was just like creative on his end. I was like, oh, you know, he's doing salsa, like that's his thing. No, he sat down with the Nike marketing reps. It was their idea, and they said, do this, and then now he's a superstar.
The money, that's right, because it's all about the flash.
Yep.
I think you can get that out of the league. And I know I monopolized my time here with talking about, because we could talk about Ray Rice on tomorrow's show also, because the fact is we haven't even touched the idea of domestic violence, which sucks, and the fact that he did this, and I talk about a fraction of the population. There are not many people that look at that and don't have their stomachs turned, but. That's my little pulpit about the NFL, and I'm just fed up with it. I'm fed up with
I think you're going to see, Mike, whether or not it's a shallow gesture you get from the NFL, I think you're going to see some changes.
Oh, there's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the commissioner's going to go, but there's going to be a lot of people that go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because allegedly some underling definitely saw the videos what the hotel is alleging as of today.
Ooh.
Saw the video, but no one in management pursued saying, did you see that video?
Yeah.
Have I seen that video? And the fact that Goodell gave the 2-game suspension so quickly, and I'll wrap this up, says that he gave that suspension blindly because he hadn't seen all the evidence.
We're going to table news you may not need. I'm going to come back and we'll have a couple of stories, but we'll talk more about this. We'll take a break. Come right back on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Hey, I'm Tony Perkins.
I'm Gary Stein.
And this week on the Tony Perkins Show, featuring Gary Stein, the lovely, the vivacious, the multi-talented Annie Yu.
Yes, and next week we have Annie Me.
Oh, my God.
What, is that wrong?
Annie Yu from Fox 5. Please listen to the Tony Perkins Show.
Featuring Gary Stein, I mean well.
Yeah, at least this week.
It's the Tony Perkins Show, featuring Gary Stein.
Annie Me.
I don't know. That man is something odd, and I'm not talking about Tony. Anyway, welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Stamps.com. Listen to these wonderful words. Quick.
Yes.
Convenient.
Great.
Easy to use. That's not a word.
Didn't I connect it with hyphens?
Does that mean it's one word?
It makes it technically one word. Yeah, we can get by on a technicality there.
How about this word? Nice.
Nice.
That's exactly how I describe Stamps.com. So quick, convenient, and easy to use. It'll make your mailing and shipping a breeze. With Stamps.com, you can buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package. They even send you a digital scale that automatically calculates exact postage. Stamps.com also helps you choose the best class of mail to get your stuff delivered on time for the least amount of money. Not too shabby. Then drop it into any mailbox, hand it to your mailman, and you are done, my friend. Trust me, mailing and shipping has never been easier, and you'll never have to go to the post office ever again. We use Stamps.com for the busy D.C. to Florida pipeline, and it saves time, money, and our sanity. Act now for a 30-day risk-free trial and $110 bonus offer, including a free digital scale and up to $55 in free postage. Just go to Stamps.com and click on the microphone and use our secret code TMOS. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com, and before you do anything else, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type TMOS. Stamps.com and TMOS, and we thank you. Okay, we normally do news you may not need, but we got kind of wrapped up with this whole Ray Rice thing in the NFL, and Oscar was talking about the heads potentially rolling in this situation with the commissioner's office. I'll ask you what you think. Do you think there's a chance that, could that happen? Could we see this result in
it's possible.
Well, you bring up something so huge, is that the fact this really does conceivably make Goodell look like
an idiot.
The idiot. And the problem, if he issued a punishment without allegedly seeing what was really going on. It's unfounded, it's unbased, and their ultimate solution, I don't know that it'll go this far, might be getting Goodell to step down. And they're going to see that as a huge gesture, and that might save them.
Well, yeah. Well, let's be clear. They're not going anywhere regardless of what happens.
No, the corporation of the NFL
I mean, there's
will
just
remain.
too many dollars that are moving this train.
But you know, the NFL has, and getting back to this, and Oscar, I am in no way saying that guys that go out and trash talk on the field or celebrate, they over celebrate, as it were, that's related to domestic violence. What I'm saying is, I think this is a real chance for the NFL to start to police its image a little bit. And I've thought, as the father of a new son, I want to have a league. I like to see guys behave in a classy and sportsmanlike way.
I think the biggest threat to the NFL is the concussions alone. I mean, that might just destroy
another
the sport
issue
overall.
And that's another issue
it's not
where they played it kind of hinky too,
yeah,
right?
Well, I think that in the long run, the fact that more parents even right now are taking their kids out of Pee-wee and putting them into basketball and baseball simply because of this.
So many
may
parents
destroy
are doing that right
the sport in the long run.
And it's another example of the NFL, playing fast and loose with the truth and not letting stuff out there. And it's the whole thing with the NFL. You've got this wonderful game, which I love. At its core, I love football. I really do.
At its base, it is the best television sport because television and football grew up together. They designed the sport and the medium to go hand in hand.
To call for a cultural change within those little nuances of the sport, that's not going to happen, Mike. It's wishful thinking.
I know it's not. I'm totally in agreement with you, but I can wish, can I?
You might see something. Even if it's empty, if it's an empty gesture, I think you're going to see something.
Still not going to change what's on the field.
Is you've got, and the thing about it is, I'll go to a team that I played, my favorite sports team played against, the New York Yankees, where there was a culture under the late George Steinbrenner where there was a look where these guys had to come in and they had to have a uniform look. It was shave the facial hair, and I loved it because to me it was, you're going to act like grown-ups. You're going to come in there and it's not going to be about you. It's going to be about your teammates. And the NFL, as time has gone on, it has become more and more. I was watching Hard Knocks the other night where they talked about you have to have some flash. You have to have this. And here's the thing. I don't necessarily believe that you have to do that. In the culture of the NFL today, you do. But I'd love to see it where it was, who gets the credit? The guy that can run the best pattern, that can throw the ball the best, that can have the best passing percentage, that can have the best receiving percentage. Those are the guys that become superstars. And it's so superficial and it's so not relevant to the game when you have guys that are getting noticed because they have a particular gimmick. And you see these guys, and I feel for these guys. You see these individuals like T.O. Look what happened to T.O. Look what his life has become because, he never had a filter, and he lived this life, and he acted like an a-hole.
Well, he spent all his money in all the wrong places
what I'm saying is guys like this, if there was
Peyton
a
Manning
standard,
gets paid.
If there was
he gets paid, and he's quiet, and all he does is those Papa John commercials. He owns dealerships in Denver now. It's just that he gets his money.
But if there was a standard of behavior in the NFL so that you could bring a kid to a game and you go, hey, there's my favorite player. Mm-hmm. He scored a touchdown. Look how he conducts himself with a tremendous amount of class. And he's not pointing at the other guy. And he's not getting interviewed.
I think what you're wishing for is something that is noble, and who wouldn't want to see that? I think to talk about it, it's great. I just don't think it's realistic.
Well, if it was able to evolve to what it is now, could it not evolve back?
No, I think that you guys, I think you forget that, when I was watching the Skins growing up, and, I was a fan simply because my uncles were getting hammered and we were watching games, and they probably bet the mortgage on it. Right. And they were upset or happy because of the money they spent. But if you watch those guys, out of all those guys, you'd look at an Art Monk and say, okay, that guy is a classy guy. He's soft-spoken. He doesn't talk too much, but he catches that ball, and you'll respect him, right?
Yeah, on the field.
And then you had like Gary Sanders and Gary Clark, and You just sit there and you're like, oh, that's the posse. And then I remember having a T-shirt that said the posse, and it was their type of flash.
It's right around that time, I think, is when it really kicked into overgrowth.
You look at
the Hogs was a big deal.
The Hogs, they had their own thing, their own shtick. They would drink a ton of beers afterwards, after the game, and they'd sit in the little shed and get hammered. And you hear those stories on the news, and everybody would slap their knee and high five.
And I think the Smurfs and celebrating after a touchdown and giving a nice, cute little nickname to a group that you have is totally different than where the NFL is right now, where it is constant trash talk. It's constant breaking these guys up, because they're pointing at somebody.
The world we live in now, and I'm not making any excuses. I'm saying there's not a place I know in sport, especially in the NFL, that has so much access to everything. If they do something wrong, now we know. If there is something out on the street or club, now we know. When we were even in the 80s, we wouldn't know unless Jack Kent Cook's wife was hammered on her Jaguar on M Street.
Yeah, and to be fair,
let me just say this. I get back to this. I get back to the fact that if you are talking on the field and you make it a code of behavior, a specific kind of behavior on the field where if you do this, you act like an a-hole, you trash talk the other guy, you celebrate after every 5-minute play, that's ridiculous. And then if they hit them with penalties, that's going to eventually result in lost games. And if lost games mean loss of revenue, then you could possibly
really
see it.
think
Am I
that'll
dreaming?
ever happen?
Oh,
You're
no.
dreaming. You're dreaming.
That'll
I'm
never
dreaming.
happen.
If it makes business sense, it will.
It
I am dreaming.
doesn't make business sense, though. It doesn't.
I am dreaming at the same time, though. To me, if you really wanted to throw the business end of things out the window, just to a certain extent, you're still going to maintain a lot of your revenue. You're not going to damage yourself beyond repair, and you might get a public blowback on it that would surprise you. Am I saying it's going to happen? Absolutely not. Am I saying I'd love to see it happen? 100%.
Yeah.
But it won't. It probably won't.
Yeah.
So that's it. And we'll talk some more about Ray Rice tomorrow because we really didn't get into that. I got into the whole culture of the NFL, but it's frustrating. It really the whole story makes me kind of sick about sports in general. We'll take a break. Come back with Rob in the Magic Audio Vault right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Hey there, this is Katie, and I would love it if you listen to the Cake and Cookie Show. No, really, please listen. I need an actual reason for spending all this time with Rob. Nobody really wants to spend time with Rob, but I'm fun enough for both of us. Listen to Cake and Cookies. You'll love half of it. My half. Every Wednesday at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Part of the More Network.
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome back to the show.
Clear your throat.
You need life insurance. There's no two ways about it. You owe it to yourself and your family, but you haven't bought it yet. I have to ask you, in the words of Max von Sydow, war? You need it. No more excuses. Today's the day. Luckily, Encore can make it easy and economical for you. Encore surveys the most highly rated companies in the insurance industry. They will compare premiums, and then they will do the work for you to get you the best price. They survey all the companies. It's fast, it's easy, and you will get the life insurance that you need. Encore does the work so you don't have to. No obligation, no salesman. It's free. This is the number to call, 866-347-5748 to get a free life insurance quote, or visit smartterm.com. That's SMARTTERM.com. That's where you'll find the license, disclaimer, and quality customer service. Encore Insurance Services, LLC. Check them out as a favor to us, but mostly for yourself, and please do it today. Without further ado, let's open up the audio vault with Rob Spiewak, and I'll go, yeah!
Yeah! How about a palate cleanser? Yeah.
I scored. So I'm great.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, I will try not to do a display of any sort of enthusiasm after every tape in the audio vault today. Maybe I can dance after
Can I tell you, just before this, let me just say one more thing on this, okay? What do we have to celebrate like that? Ratings, right?
Right.
Ratings. All success, people, is fleeting. All of it.
I've been
The
to a
Academy
hockey
Award.
game with you where you've gone
Yes.
crazy after the Caps score.
Yeah, but I mean, but what I'm saying, it's still fleeting.
Yes.
So I'll go crazy after a Cap score, and then it's usually about a minute, maybe tops a minute, usually about 15 seconds.
That's fair.
It's all fleeting. So when you act like a complete and total a-hole on the field, it goes away real quick. You get an Academy Award.
Then
the next morning, you got to start working again and doing that. So
to your point,
make
then what's the harm then?
Well, I'm talking about fans are a different story. Fans pay, to go in and see a game, and they're, it's joy and celebration. The whole day is a party for them. I'm saying a certain standard of behavior on the field would be something good for kids to see. And, it's like you try your damnness, you get out there and you try to beat the other team's brains out. You do that. I'm all for that. But then when you do, you have that celebration. But it's all fleeting, and you remember that the guys across the field are trying just as hard as you are.
It's hard to think that when you think about, you mentioned the fans, and then you think about the players. The players on every given play, and I know it's a cliche, their careers could end.
Yes.
So the fact that you have all that riding on the line.
Right.
The fact that that if your career ends, you don't get paid anymore, it's over, it's time for the next chapter of your life.
Which would make you even a more dignified and classy human being if you conducted yourself
no,
with a great
that'll
deal of
make you happier that you didn't get your ass kicked, or you actually were able to protect yourself to get to the quarterback.
Are you arguing for joy and celebration after every play?
I'm saying if you don't want that, then why would you even watch any sport?
Well, because I like to see my teams win, and I like to see
You don't see hockey players celebrate after they score a goal? They pile up on each other.
After they score a goal,
yes.
And after a game is over, and they all go down and they congratulate
after
the
they
goalie.
hold a team during a power play, they celebrate.
When no, they don't. What are you talking about? What kind of celebration are you talking about?
Well, they don't pile up on each other, but they're also on skates, for God's
sake.
They'll high-five each other. Or they'll fist bump. They'll fist pump. They'll go like this.
How do the hockey players celebrate, a successful power play defense? They don't do that. They don't. What they do is they score a goal. Guy skates over to the bench, puts his glove out, skates the length of the bench, and gets a little slap from each of his players. Gets back on the bench and goes on to his.
But Oscar,
you picked the wrong sport to use.
What about
I think Oscar
you want
actually
the fighting to go away in hockey?
It largely has.
You know what? I think
they still fight though. It's not banned.
You know what? I think really if you really were to hold me and said, Mike, if you want this standard in sports, you got to get rid of your beloved fighting in hockey, I would probably say, yeah, that's probably true. Really not relevant to the game as much as it used to be. You eliminate that, and it's something for kids to say. I think really, if I'm gonna talk about the NFL, I can talk about the NHL. I'd like to see that.
The next time he brings up a point you would disagree with, Oscar, just say this: "Here comes Butters."
I think that your heart's in the right place. If we're gonna have a real discussion about this, I like to talk. Like, I would love $1 million to be outside this door right now. That's just the reality of those things. They're just not going to happen.
Check, Mac,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
They're not going to happen.
I've said it for a long time, though. As far
you have, and I've heard you have this conversation. Absolutely,
specifically the trash talking in the NFL, which is really rubs me the wrong way.
And it's tough because I see that on Hard Knocks, but you don't hear it when you're watching the game.
Yeah, but you see it when you're watching.
You can see it.
But you don't see
the two guys like. Especially, it happens a lot. It seems to me where you see it more than other aspects of the game. You see a lot of it when you've got a receiver and a DB that go against each other, and then they're nose to nose going, "I'm better than you. I'm better than you." And I hate that. I'd love to see it. I'd like to see it toned down. Throw a few flags. See if it can get it out of the game. That's what I'd say.
Do you think it would help if the football players wore skates? I mean, there's got to be a solution somewhere, is what I'm saying.
That could be a sport. You never know.
Mike, have you heard this song? I think it is one of the songs of the summer. It's by Meghan Trainor.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all
and I hate to admit the fact it is really catchy and it gets in your head.
Hottest song in America
I like
now.
I like it a lot.
And she is she's not exactly Oscar's type, this one.
No.
She's a little thick.
No.
Oh, really?
Cute, though.
It's like she ate Adele.
She did not eat Adele.
She ate Adele.
Mike, we don't have time for anything but this, but you're going to love this. Do you know that band I've played you, Postmodern Jukebox, that does classic takes? They did All About That Bass with a stand-up bass, and a girl is singing and playing a stand-up bass. You're going to love this.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, about the bass. No
That's cool.
trouble. I'm all about that bass.
She's playing and singing. Check out the video. It's awesome.
I'm all about that
very
bass,
cool.
about that bass. No trouble. I'm all about that bass, about that bass. Yeah, it's pretty clear. I ain't no size two.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love the original. Love that, too.
If you take the lyrics out of it, this could be 1940. It's great.
Absolutely. Right.
And Mike, that's your magic audio.
Oh, my God, that's it.
Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
Wow, what happened to us today? We got one of those big discussions.
Because
anyway.
we're all about the rice. About the rice.
No rice, actually.
Yeah. That's it. We got to get out of here. We'll continue. We got more to offer for this. We'll continue. This was fun. I like doing this because everybody's talking about it. That's what the most important thing is we got a meeting in the PD's office after the show.
You were all
so we got to
over
make sure we're topical on today's topic. How about that, huh? That's just not right. Anyway, thank you. We'll take one little break. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new show. That's it. Not goodbye. So long. And we've run out of time. Want to make sure that you caught me by surprise, off. Rob. Yeah. If you'd like to be a part of the mailbag, send it to Rob. The jolly one. Rob at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Hey, no phone calls. We're interrupting Mike O'Mara during this particular broadcast. Oh, that's bad, huh? All right. See you later. We'll see you tomorrow. So long. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
The show's over. Remember to go to Naturebox.com and order great tasting healthy snacks at 50% off. Snack smarter in the new year with healthy and delicious treats like French toast granola. Support this podcast and get 50% off your first order. Go to Naturebox.com and use promo code TMOS. That's Naturebox.com, promo code TMOS.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.